Well, very good afternoon and welcome back to Jeju on the final day and the final block at the Jeju Grand-Prix 2015, and welcome back to David McFall.
Hey Sheldon, how's it going?
Good. You're looking forward to the final block?
Absolutely.
What, in your opinion, is maybe the pick of the matches? We've got 5 weight categories to show the viewers at home. 3 men, 2 women, the under 90 kilos, the under 100 and the plus 100, and then we've got the under 78 and the plus 78 kilo category for women. Can you pick one out, or do you want to give a highlight of a few of them?
I like the 2 light heavyweight men's categories, under 90, Claret versus Guac, and then the minus 100 Cho versus Armentaros. Both look solid.
Cho, surprise for you, or?
I really thought that the Olympic champion was going to come through. And Cho, I think, to the delight of the Korean fans, came through and beat Habalaev.
Yeah, he's a particular favorite, not only of the fans, because he's a plucky and spirited character, and he's not one of the biggest fighters in the weight category, but also the team. And I think you mentioned, it's called it sort of like a talisman or something, or was it maybe Mark Pickering that was talking about that? Now, in the under 90 kilo category, Guak Dong had no real surprise given the fact that he's current world champion, yeah?
Absolutely. For the same reason that I expected Habalaev to come in as the Olympic champion. But definitely Guak, he looked in control all day. And he did a number on Iliadis. It wasn't an Ippon, but he definitely controlled that match.
Now, down in the bottom half of the draw, you had you had Tot Christian in there, Kirill Denisov, Ashley Gonzalez. They were all there round and about, but it was Axel Clerget of France, whom we chatted about briefly this morning in terms of the quality of his judo and his stylish approach to judo. And we saw that on a few occasions with the application of some of his techniques and his speed in transition from one phase to another. He really looked good, didn't he?
Yeah, the Yoko Tomonage was really going well for him, and his transition in Newaza was fantastic, and he beat both Toth and Denisov. Right,
so we've got this interesting matchup then of Guak from the top half of the draw, the current world champion, up against Axel Clerget of France. That's in the under 90 kilo category. What are your thoughts on that? Where do you think that title is going to go?
I might have to. Usually you would give the edge to the home champion, but Clerget just looks so good. So good. He's deserving.
He could trouble Guak because he's going to pose him a different kind of threat, I think, from his other opponents. That's my thoughts as well. Before we get that far, we've got the first of the bronze medal matches in that weight category coming up. Magomedov of Russia faces his teammate Kirill Denisov. It'll be Magomedov in the white judogi, Denisov in blue. Let's see how we get on with that one. No coaches for these 2 fighters as they approach the match. I think we can go to the action now on map 2. How much have you seen of Denisov today?
Enough to I would favor him over Magomedov.
And I'm just trying to think of the matches that we saw him in. Gonzalez.
He looked good against Gonzalez.
Yeah, that was a really good match.
Good,
yeah.
Looked good against Rondo. He's always one. He's technically he's very good at tactics. He always seems to be in control of the match. Knows where to sort of move his opponents into certain corners, certain angles. Is controlled the Shidos. Has Magomedov already has one. And Magnov picks up his second Shido. And his third. And we'll just say this kabuki play is over.
Yeah, that one's done. Kirill Denisov takes the bronze medal. We move now to Tot Christian of Hungary. He'll face Iliadis of Greece. When the pair come out, it'll be Tot in the white judogi, Iliadis in blue.
And a big opening move there by Toth.
It's not the first time that he's been behind in his contests today, Iliadis.
Yeah, but you got to think that Toth is thinking back at Chelyabinsk here, and he wants a little payback.
Well, you go down. Hasn't scared him. He was a Wazari down against Cheng in his opening contest. The Chinese had him on a knife edge for a while. Bit of nerves, maybe. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Call it nerves. Earlier on. And then he settled. And when he did throw him, he threw him beautifully. And we were talking about not with the same kind of sharp, blistering speed, but then he's, 15 years older than when we first saw him whacking people over.
The shades of Iliadis of the past.
But the shape was still there. The technique was still there. The only thing missing was the speed.
Well, I think we saw when we were in Chelyabinsk because Toth was on fire, and I think he just, the glare of being in the final for the World Championships at that point in his career was perhaps a bit much, and Iliadis was just as comfortable as could be. Now, Toth is used to this, and he's fighting Iliadis, who's not quite what he was. But every time I say that, Iliadis comes up with a big move.
Well, I mean, almost word for word, what you said, I would agree with. Even right at the end, he always seems to come out with something. As long as he's not carrying an injury, he can.
He's dangerous.
Yeah, he can dig deeper than almost anybody. And the other thing that Iliadis has is I think a much wider range of techniques and looks to which he can go than other fighters. He doesn't only come at you from one direction, for example.
He's got a huge reservoir.
Yeah.
If you're looking at a judo fighter in terms of being a judo database, he's got the biggest database of them all. I mean, how far back was Athens?
2004.
11 years ago.
And, all right, he's 18 then, but,
Still.
We'd seen him a year or two before that as well as a cadet, junior and a cadet, shaping up.
I mean, you could look at somebody like Tani, right, who was around for a long time, or even Nomura, but I think there are a lot more competitions on the circuit now.
Yeah.
So in terms of sheer numbers of competitions, he's probably, been in the most. I mean, Teddy's been around for a long time, but the thing is, Iliadis competes in a lot more per year.
And just to illustrate that point, I'm just going to have a check.
Toth, this time Iliadis goes at him a little bit. Toth is leading by Yuko. He does have an extra Shido against him compared to Iliadis.
Yeah, I'm not even going to waste my time to look at the number of contests that Tani Ryoko would have had during her competitive career.
You just know it. Just the sheer number per year was not even close.
Yeah. A record on head-to-heads.
Oh, Iliadis Wazari.
That's it.
But right now he's got Toth absolutely smothered on Saikomi. The leg isn't quite out yet. That clock should have stopped. I think that leg was trapped. No, it's the arm. He's okay. They restarted the clock now.
Yeah.
As we said, he got deep database.
And he pulled it out again, just as you said.
Just an incredible amount of experience. He's got just enough in his physical presence. His body keeps himself fit in that. Don't count this guy out for Rio.
Not at all.
And there are some great fighters in this division, but Iliadis is going to be a real danger in Rio.
Right. I'll just tell you quickly whilst we've got this, because it's something that's nice and interesting. So we were looking at Tanny's record. And from a start period in international judo, we're just talking about international judo, from 91 until 2008, there were 70 recorded head-to-heads over that period. That's over a 17-year period.
Right.
For Iliadis, which is over a 15-year period, from 2000, we've got 311 recorded head-to-head.
And we don't even have to look at Nomura. I mean,
no, it's going to be.
It's going to be. That's It's just the amount of tournaments in the circuit, and you got to think about the amount of abuse on his body.
Nomura would have had more because later on in his career, he did do more. Later on,
right? But still,
it won't
the
be
sheer volume
like
isn't going to be anything close to it.
Right, we come to the final of the under 90 kilo category now, and it features the current world champion Guak Dong-han of Korea. He's up against Axel Clerget of France. It's Guak in the white judogi, Clerget in blue, and it was a good debating point, David, about the sheer volume of contests that Iliadis would have had to have borne on his body over that period of time.
Yeah, I mean, this is the hardest part about judo, I think, is the fact that this is a season that basically never ends. And you get an injury and things like that. Consider this, I mean, how many contests has he done considering all the injuries he's had over his career? He's fought injured and still won. What interests me in this contest is you're between Guak and Clerget is, I think, well, first thing with the rank, 50 versus number 1. And I don't know what Clerget, the one thing Guak has is his Seonagi. He has other things, but that's the one thing you got to defend against.
Got his sleeves nicely tied up there, didn't he?
That said, a really great Seonagi specialist. You know it's coming. That doesn't mean you can prevent it.
Nice follow-up there from Clerget.
Clerget shows his judo.
So they've both not played their trump cards, but they've both played a big card.
Say an opening gambit, yes?
In the first 30 seconds. Here's a look at my Seonagi, and here's a look at my Tomoe-nagi. So I like the fact, as you said early on, that Clerget is able to move very quickly from one phase to the next, and he connects the different parts very well. Oh, little Uchimata there.
What do they say? Cat-like reflexes, right?
Yeah, he's hardly finished the one move before he's attempting the second.
And if it came down to the ground, I like Clerget versus Guak.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable on the ground.
Looks like he's done his homework. Now, mind you, as you said, this is a Grand Prix. This is a 3-star-ish contest. But still, he's fighting a 5-star competitor right now.
Well, what I like to do is to assign a star to each of the fighters in the top 10. So the tournament doesn't get a star rating. It's each single weight category that gets
well, in that case, this is a
rating.
4 or a 5, right?
This is a 5-star weight category. Whereas yesterday in the under 81 kilo category, it was a 0-star. There's no one from the top 10.
And this is the reason why totally unheralded judoka came out with a gold medal.
But today, we've got 5-star. And we've just seen it. We've seen Iliadis,
an Olympic champion. We've got a world champion.
We had the Olympic silver medalist in Ashley Gonzalez. We've got really, really good quality fighters here.
A second place world contest place with Toth, right?
Yeah. I think if if Nishiyama and Lipatiliani had been here, I'd have said we've got everyone we want.
You would pick Nishiyama over Baker?
Well, we were just only because we were talking in terms of what they have already achieved,
Accomplished. Okay.
As opposed to who might get selected and win, in Rio.
Right.
So in that respect, for the big names who had already achieved something, Nishiyama.
I thought you were thinking in terms of the current rankings, because I believe Baker's ranked higher than Nishiyama.
He is, yeah.
Well, we'll see Nishiyama, Daiki, and Baker.
Just a stretch too far there.
And a couple other folks in Tokyo.
He's not sure where that's come from.
He's just doing a good job of spinning off to the side. But this is, if you do have a really good Seoinage guy, and the epitome that would be Koga, everybody knows it's coming, but they can't stop it.
Yeah. Well, I suppose there are a few of those around. Not necessarily with that technique, but a few fighters who would fit that category. They it's not a surprise when Orton Paviev throws you with Harai Makikomi. Your ability to stop it, however, is another matter.
Or Agbenenu with the Uranage, right?
Uranage, yeah.
And quite recently, Teddy with the Sumigaishi. That has just been... There it is.
Speak of the devil. Nice long break for Guak. We can take some instruction from Sung Denam.
Well, he looked good coming fresh out there with that first attack. Let's see if he might be able to score another yuka or better. He's got some time to think about what he's seen with Clerget.
Just out of interest, Iliadis fought here in 2002.
Okay.
At the
way back when?
At the Junior World Championships. Yeah, he had a little bit of a run out here. Okay, he's tidied himself up. Well, the doctor's tidied him up anyway. Dr. Arnold has been busy on him. He's back on the mat. Yeah, he's not afraid to get involved on the ground, is he?
I kind of like the look there where he went for the Ochi and then responded with the Yokotomo Inage. That's a nice, interesting little combination. He throws in his version of Seoinage, but doesn't quite have the compact snap that Guak has.
Mrs. Guak, do you think, Mum?
It looks like it should be Mum.
Yeah, well, cameramen have found her a couple of times. I don't think it's Mrs. Guak's wife.
No. It's a bit more than just a mere adoring fan.
I haven't gotten used to seeing Sung Denam in a suit yet. Well, not that kind of suit anyway. He's all in a judo suit. He's one of the... Oh, he goes over. Oh.
I was just going to say, with that second Shido to Guak, that it was just a Yuko difference, and that Yuko became a Yuko and a Wazari. That was a big old Soto look there by Clerget.
Second time he's been overstretched when looking for that left-sided Osotogari. You can't get a second hand on here, so there's no chance for the Setemi Waza, which is his favourite. That's a little bit better. Third time he's gone in there, but
I like the commitment, but you could
Yeah.
just tell that's
Yeah.
not his throw. Not like that Yoko Tomoe is.
Mrs. Guak's been to Burberry. He's got the old chav scarf around her neck.
There you go.
Well managed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The day, I mean, from Guak. Given the quality of the field there, I just said that it was 5-star, so to come out on top, you come in with a red back patch on your back, home favourite, and you do the job.
Absolutely.
Hard to beat at home, aren't they? Well, there's a degree of disappointment for Clerget. That's understandable. He got to the final and he wanted to win. On the other hand, that's a really good result for him.
Good day's work.
Yeah.
Good day's work. He'll look back. I mean, he'll be disappointed initially, but he'll look back and go, good day's work. He will certainly be rising in the rankings.
Some of the highlights from the first of 5 finals that we've got to bring you. That one going the way of Guak Donghan. The second of the weight category, sorry David, is the under 78 kilo category, and the first bronze medal contest there features Purev Jagul Khamded of Mongolia. She's up against Takayama Rika of Japan. It'll be Purev Jagul in the white, judogi Takayama in blue, and here's David McFall.
I was just going to mention the 4 picks for the Japanese at 90 kilos for Tokyo Grand Slam are Baker Mashu, Yoshida Yuya, Nishiyama Daiki, and Otsuchi Kenta. That's a good little field there. So it was Takayama was taken out by Chumeo, who was in the final, and it was Purev Yardaga was taken out by Harrison. Looked like she had a chance there to make the turnover on Purev Jagul. Boom. That, my friends, is Ippon. Oh, Sotogari. That one almost seemed like it took forever to get going there. Didn't think she had the initial Kazushi, but just kept digging, driving. Gets it, just keeps pushing, keeps driving. That looked pretty nasty on the ankle there. I think a bag of ice is going to be in order.
Second of the bronze medal contests features Husha Steenhuis of the Netherlands. She's up against Gemma Gibbons of Great Britain. It'll be Steenhuis in the white judogi, Gibbons in blue.
First move by Gibbons. Helps draw a penalty toward Steinhaus. There's her teammate, Sally Conway. A couple of members of the British judo team.
Yeah, Alice Schlesinger was up there, Nakoda Davis, a few of the other fighters there. The British have picked up a few medals already.
Well, particularly the British women.
Yeah, Owen Livesey was in and around the medals yesterday, wasn't he?
He had his shot at it. Makikomi attempt there by Gibbons.
He was the only British male to get close to the medals. Ended up with a 5th place, losing out in the bronze medal match.
He fought well, though. He fought well.
A slightly older-fashioned hairstyle there from Jules Franzen. Kind of throwback style.
I am not going to go there.
Maybe it's doing the rounds again, that one. 2 penalties against Tusha Steinhaus anyway.
Coming back. Steinhaus had a look at Osotogari. One-handed Uchibata.
Just straying out of the area a little bit too often, I think. That got away with it. He's already picked up 2 penalties. Really want to get another. It's been an unfortunate part of her game today, I'm afraid, Nisha, to have picked up penalties along the way. Made that difficult by making the space between herself and Steinhaus that much bigger, did Gibbons, so difficulty for Steinhaus to bring off that Ouchigari.
Gibbons is, she hasn't had to do a lot of work there, but now she draws her first penalty. So now it's only a Shido between the two of them.
Yeah, you don't want to be messing around now.
Steinhaus recognizes the desperation. The situation comes up, but it looks like it's going to be just a bit short of a Yuko.
Yeah. That was the best attack, actually.
Yep, in the entire contest. Just came up short.
Andrew Burns up there as well. He came close, didn't he? Who did he come close to upsetting this morning? Wasn't it Kirill Denisov?
Yes, I think it was.
Didn't he give him a bit of a
scare?
Yeah.
It was the last 10 seconds where
they went into golden score. Yeah.
I mean, up till 10 seconds before the end, he was up by Shido, and then just that one Shido. Real shame.
Gibbons it is, who takes the bronze medal here. We'll see her on the podium. Bit of celebration. A very girly celebration from Gibbons there. I like what you've done with your hair, darling. Look.
Yes. It's like a bit of bedhead to me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my, we're just commenting on women's hairstyles is just going to get us in big trouble here.
No, well, she's actually quite, she's quite glamorous away from the mat, and that's a slightly unfortunate shot of Gemma in the full throes of work. No one wants to get caught in their work mode, do they? Especially when you've got your hair like that. Audrey Chermio, with her own particular hairstyle, comes rather sheepishly to the mat, as though she's about to steal something that doesn't belong to her, but it does. This was a good effort during the day from Chermio. It's not her fault that Harrison injured her shoulder earlier on, and she leaves the mat having not had to compete in the gold medal match. So there you go.
It's a shame. That would have been an interesting fight.
Ooh, humorous. I can imagine what it was that...
Speaking of Pavia?
Yeah, well, there was an indication from Audrey Chermio regarding the non-match that just took place, and she indicated that to her friends in the crowd, and they were much amused, and still are, by her thoughts on that. Anyway, we've got the awarding ceremony for the under 90 kilo category. The 2 bronze medalists are about to step up. Ilyas Iliadis of Greece and Kirill Denisov of Russia. Silver medal goes to Axel Clerget of France. The gold medal goes to Guak Dong Han of Korea. And a hug then from the Korean VIP. Rather embarrassingly returned there by Guak as he got caught unawares of the hug part of the etiquette. He was all for the bend over, receive the medal and handshake bit, but the hug kind of surprised him. You may want to go and grab Kayla Harrison quickly if you can. She needs to come down for the bronze. No, you're not going to have time. She'll find her way. She's a big girl. She'll manage it. And now the national anthem of Korea. Yeah, she's managed to find her way down. When we had the under 48 kilo category and they stepped up there, all four of them, to receive their medals, there wasn't a problem with fitting them on, was there?
Plenty of room.
It's becoming extremely difficult now.
Wait till the big boys get up there.
Teddy's going to need one of those on his own. So, Guak Dong Han has managed that.
Look like he's in a hurry to get off that podium, have a word with those local ladies.
It is possible that Harrison may have dislocated her shoulder. That's the reason that she was unable to take part. But I find that a little bit difficult to believe, given that she's still walking around.
Well, you could pop that back in, but the thing is, you don't want to fight if it's in that condition.
Well, definitely. Anyway, I'm not. I've got no medical training at all, but my colleague has. He knows all things medical. I imagine that his bathroom cabinet's full of all remedies for all kinds of ailments. That's not David McFall. Someone else has given me that information. You know. Right. Sorry. We come to the first of the bronze medal matches in the under 100 kilo category. Luciano Correa of Brazil faces Tagir Haibulaev of Russia. It's Correa in the white judogi and Haibulaev in blue.
I was going to say, what are you doing looking in my medicine cabinet?
No, not me.
Wing of bat, eye of newt, and all the other remedies I have back there.
Dr. Mark.
Well, I believe, picked Korea to get up there. And he's got a shot at a medal.
You did indeed. You did indeed.
I thought that Haibulaev, like I said earlier, was going to make it in the gold medal round, and he came up one short.
Luciano Correa will always, I suppose, for as long as he competes, have that monkey on his back. What a difficult thing it is to talk about having a world championship gold medal as a monkey on your back. But the difficulty for Luciano Correa is that, you know, it's almost like that song, you know, what have you done for me lately? You know, it was 2007. was his World Championship win on home soil as well. And I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I think that him fighting in Brazil, had some small matter to do with it as well. Mind you, Maxim Rakov won his gold medal and he wasn't fighting at home. The same may be said of him, what have you done? He's, been there or thereabouts on other occasions.
No, it seems like Korea is one of those that's been around forever. Just, year in, year out. You keep seeing him.
7, it's a good long way away.
Got 2 Shidos apiece here. These 2 veterans. World champion and an Olympic champion. Nice little contest for a bronze. See, Korea is trying to work some groundwork there. But it's actually Ibalov who's got the Ura Kesagatame. It looks like he's ensnared Korea pretty well. That looks very solid. Once it gets that solid, there's just not much you can do. So Hambalev ends up with the bronze medal. Korea with a 5th place. Korea just getting caught in that transition. Gets caught with Newaza. Pretty much textbook Ura Gesekatame. That's going to bring up our next match, which is Jose Armenteros of Cuba versus local Cho Gu Ham of Korea. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the final. The bronze medal match is going to be Sakamoto Kensuke of Japan versus Elmar Gasimov of Azerbaijan. And here they are. You notice that Sakamoto has no rank. So you've got the number 2.
Oh dear.
And while this is a bronze medal match, this is shades of what we saw yesterday.
Gasimov makes his way to the mat, as does Sakamoto.
Yes, in minus 100s, I was looking at the 2 Brazilians as we talked about, Hambalayev, Mamadov. I just put a question mark next to Sakamoto. We didn't know what he could do.
Unknown quantity.
Well, if he can beat out the number 2, it's a pretty good day at the office. Actually, 5th place would be not bad for a total unknown quantity.
Yeah, as long as he's given a good account of himself and by all, means being in the bronze medal contest, must mean that you have.
Gazimov drops into some stemiwaza. There's Suzuki Keiji. Call him Mate there.
Just settling for a grip now, and now Gazimov looking the more likely to be able to come up with an attack from that position.
He's got to be careful here.
Whoops. Out it comes.
Almost.
But moved away at the same time, yeah.
It's tough to get that foot out and maintain that control of the upper body. So the second stemiwaza seen from Gazimov, and neither one of them been pretty. As you said earlier, Sakamoto looks a little diminutive for this weight category.
Nice little movement there, wasn't it? Couldn't get the left leg far enough over for that low tire Toshi. That would have been a threat. Gazimov has looked tired from the very first contest. He's just got that tired look about him.
Hangdog almost, right?
It was Gazimov that we saw in the opening contest in the under 100 kilo category.
There's another good look there at Sakamoto.
And again, that little left-sided effort. He got further across there.
I like the first one where it looked like he was working on a haraigoshi. You can see how slow he is getting up. He said if he was tired at the beginning of the day, by this time he must be exhausted. Sakamoto looking at a little Kosotogake. And again, oh! And a fantastic counter there.
Even when he's tired.
There's a little Kosoto Gake, kind of like the sticky foot that Sakamoto's trying to work on. Just as he came out of that, Gazimov was all over him. He found the reserve tank on that one. Nicely done.
We'll have a look at the replay of that in a second. So even when not looking his best, he can still produce some quality judo. Gazimov takes the bronze medal.
Yeah. Montage. There we go. So I guess it was before that move we saw the sticky foot, and then he did that. There we go. Bam.
Nicely executed from Elmar Gazimov. And take a proper rest now.
Yep, now he can really rest.
Right, the final of the under 100 kilo category. It features Jose Armenteros of Cuba. He's up against Cho Guam of Korea. It's Armenteros in the white judogi, Cho in blue.
Cho can convert here. The Koreans can get their second medal of the day, matching what they did in the first 2 days.
Vladimir Vostrokov is the referee in the middle for this one. Young guns up there watching on. It's all right for them. They've had their turn. It's all fun and games from the stands. A little bit more serious when you're down there on the competition floor and you're in the middle. It's be a major coup if Cho Guam can pull this off. You mean look at the body types of the two fighters. Armenteros has almost got, Rinne-like stature.
Yeah, he's got the build.
Yeah, he's physically well built and it's all well proportioned, whereas Cho, I mean, even his gi looks ill-fitting, doesn't it? He gives the impression of being, on the dumpy side.
Yeah, the Japanese word is debu, which is kind of like chubby or chotto debu.
Yeah, I think another description would be that.
There we
go.
go.
He's caught him off that side as well.
Fantastic.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. Wow. Snap, crackle, pop.
Oh.
Bam.
They love him in the stands, don't they?
Well, that move just had such character, too, It just popped right in there. And after all our slightly derogatory comments about his stature and his shape.
They still stand.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're untrue. I'm just saying they weren't exactly complimentary.
Well, we hadn't gotten around to talking about his skill and success level.
Yeah.
And we'll see it in the replay. We'll have a good look at it. As will Armenteros, who hasn't moved from Matt's side yet. He wants to have a look. Well, yeah. And now he does. Very, very quickly. He nods and he realizes on your back.
Yeah, he just got caught.
Yeah.
This was not the really clean, beautiful Seonages that we've seen from Guak and the other guys.
No, because he intends to take him off that side.
Yeah, off the other side. And drives with his head.
That's it, right there. That's your finish. And then he rolls away, and it's the only thing that he thinks about is that I've rolled away quick enough. He still wants to have another look, Armenteros.
I think for him it just so happened so quick.
Exactly.
He just can't believe a blink of an eye.
The speed with which he was off his back perhaps suggested to him that it wasn't Ippon.
That really is what we call it. It's perfect kazushi. I'm sure for Cho it felt one of those air throws where you throw and you get this kazushi so perfect. You don't have to have power. It just boom, you did it.
Timing. Yeah. We've got the awarding ceremony for the under 78 kilo category, and the medals are being awarded by the head sport director of the International Judo Federation, Mr. Vladimir Barta. The first of the medals goes to Gemma Gibbons of Great Britain, and the second bronze medal went to Takayama Rika of Japan. Silver medal goes to Kayla Harrison of the United States of America. And the gold medal goes to Audrey Chemio of France. Those are the medal winners. Now the national anthem of France.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised in Rio if we didn't see those same flags up. Might be in a different order, but could be the exact same flags rising up in Rio at the end of the under 78 women's.
Right, coming up, the first of the bronze medal matches in the plus 78 kilo category. Marion Erb of France faces Irina Kinzerska of Ukraine. Erb in the white judogi, Kinzerska in blue.
Big Makikomi attempt there by White.
Just a little bit too high up. Didn't threaten Kinzerska. She was able to maintain her balance and then counter. And then was brought down to the mat. Just on the side, just enough for Kinzerska to pick up Yuko. So that's the lead. Over goes Erben, just enough onto her side for Kinzerska to score Yuko.
Where's you got to be careful? She gets Koshu Jime right here. Herb was going for it. She was going for it, but
now she's gone.
she's gone.
Yeah, wrapped up, well and truly wrapped up there by Kinzerska. I can't remember who it was that you mentioned early on as being almost flattened.
That would be Andre Wertha in the first round. Pineda
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
flattened him. Had Kesagatame and had looked like a good 100 kilos in the guy's chest.
6:05. We've got one more weight category after this. I tell you what, this is going quicker than the 4 weight categories we had yesterday. We only had 4 weight categories yesterday. The final block always starts at 5 o'clock. That's the same time, so that's a given. But we only had 4 weight categories yesterday, so we had 3 matches less. But we're going to finish, and so 3 weight categories and an awarding ceremony less, and we're going to finish earlier today. So we're racing through this.
Well, we're seeing a lot of finishes. These matches are not going the full 5 minutes, let alone golden score. They're getting done early.
Erb unable to cope with Kinzerska. Ineffective against her, I'm afraid.
Well, right there is a transition and the follow through. Zerska just
We come to the second of the bronze medal contests, and this features Kim Min-jeong of Korea. She's up against Idalis Ortiz of Cuba. It's the Korean in the white judogi and the Cuban in blue. We're missing the Chinese from the heavyweight trio. Cuba, Japan, and we've got at least one Japanese in there. Just the Chinese missing, and I'm sure we'll have all 3 of them when we're in Japan next week.
there's Ronaldo looking very sharp in a yellow blazer. Kind of matches Ortiz's hair.
He does, doesn't he? Look resplendent on his way out there. He's almost matching the mats.
There you go.
Ronaldo we're talking
Or
about.
Ortiz's hair
Yeah,
designs,
could
right?
be, yeah.
Maybe they color coordinated this time.
Never seen her with the same adornments.
I think that's by design.
She's definitely into a bit of fashion, isn't she?
She's got 6 more months of adorning that very fashionable gold back patch. Unless she shows us something else in Rio.
I like her, but I can't see it.
You know, she for me, she rises to the occasion in some of these big competitions. Obviously, the Olympics being the biggest of the big.
It's a very good point because, oh, look at that. You know, she got into a terrific position there. Just couldn't finish. But if she had, I mean, then we would have heard a thump, wouldn't we? But I think the question as to what can you do to motivate your heavyweight fighters to give performances that are above the mundane, the ordinary, you know, just the straightforward. It could be that the big occasion motivates people like Ortiz. I think it's a slightly different conundrum for the women's heavyweight category than the men's. I'm not even going to get into trying to find out whether there are any likenesses or not, or similarities. Teddy's so way, far and away more successful, more threatening, and a much more difficult proposition that he poses in his weight category than any of the women who appear much of a muchness. No one has the beating of everyone all the time, whereas at the moment with Rinner we seem to have that. I'm not against it at all. The question that I ask myself is who is going to threaten him and how. And Roy Meyer gave a little bit of a bash earlier on, didn't he? He had a go. Left-sided effort from Ortiz, but it doesn't really threaten Kim Min-jong. Mr. Lee in the chair for the Korean. Great body type for a woman, Kim Min-jong. Great shape for this weight category. A little bit like Chibisova. A little bit. Chibisova hasn't got the same kind of mobility. I know David's been lucky to have had a chat with the Olympic champion, Kayla Harrison. She was here for a couple of seconds and just making her way past us now. What's the SP?
So the deal is that she actually dislocated the shoulder in the first match. Wow. And it popped out once, and then it popped back in again when she was posting after a fall. And they iced it down in between matches. But she wants to fight in Tokyo, and so they decided that Shimeo was just one match too far to push the shoulder. And so they decided, all right, it's enough's enough.
I'm there in the final. I'll take that. I'll then get my shoulder sorted out, and we can do it from there. Yeah.
So, tough girl. Very tough.
She had to fight the rest of the day with the shoulder problem. Kim Min-jong wins out.
And this was her first experience of dislocating the shoulder.
Oh.
So.
A couple of Shidos picked up by Idalis Ortiz. Missing out on a medal, and it's the home girl, Kim Min-jong, who will take that bronze medal. Oh, well, the search continues then for some kind of continuity with any heavyweight woman. I'm just trying to evaluate, the difference between the men's division and the women's division. It hasn't been possible for the women to locate a champion, a real champion, a champion with any degree of longevity, unlike the men. We've got clearly identified top of the tree. Maybe this young lady is going to show us something. We've got the final of the plus 78 kilo category, and it features Belkis Kaya of Turkey. She's up against Asahina Sara of Japan. It's Kaya in the white judogi, Asahina in blue. I'm interested to see the approach and the attitude and all those other things that Asahina may be able to bring to the party.
The thing is first thing, she's probably the youngest person out here, not just in her weight class, perhaps in the entire field over the 30 days. And is my understanding, we have not really been keeping tabs on her today, but she's working on an all Ippon performance today.
Well, it's working at the moment. Let's see what happens now.
Earlier this week when Uchiha went to the hospital, it was Asahina Sada's parents who accompanied her. They both speak English well, and they're both physicians. And that's actually Asahima's career choice after she retires, but that's going to be a long time away.
4 fights to this point. 4 Ippons. Over reasonable opposition.
She'll get a little bit steeper competition when she goes to Tokyo next week. And she is also the only competitor that I can...
From the Japanese
side,
yeah,
that will be competing in both. As we just mentioned, Kayla is planning on competing in both, and there'll be several others. Pretty much seen her big moves will be the Sasai and then the Haraimaki.
She had to roll there because she was in trouble with the arm.
Yep, but she was able to escape from that. She doesn't have a bad newaza game herself.
Yeah. Belara Lokmanihim watching on and taking a few snapshots.
So, always starts out her breaks with a big ki. And there she goes there. And that is her signature move. The Makikomi into Keisagatame.
Get tight now. Get tight now. Her father said that she was going to win the Olympic Games one day. And I don't think he's a soothsayer. I just think he knows his stuff. That's no crystal ball there. That's just... He's just talking sense. You know? Wasn't bravado or anything.
The only thing I could see in her way would be there's some very powerful Chinese girl out there that we haven't seen yet that will show up in Tokyo 2020. That would be my prediction as far as it.
She could do a Rinau.
She could?
She could dominate the category, given that it's a category that requires the least the least degree of... What's the best way of putting this? It's not the best category. There are 7 weight categories for women, and this one is not the strongest.
No, it doesn't have the depth. It doesn't have the numbers, let alone the depth, right?
And yet we've got someone here who is 5 for 5, who's banged everybody over. It's exactly what you're looking for. This is what you're looking for.
Now, the one thing is when you're talking about heavyweights and you're talking about Japan, she still hasn't claimed an All Japan title. There's only one major heavyweight in recent Japanese history who's claimed world titles and no All Japan title, and that is Muneta.
Right, so let's look at that statement. What time of the year is the All Japan
women's
it's held?
In the late spring.
And when was the last time she entered it?
I believe she was in the most recent one. So that would be April.
Right, so how many shots at the All Japan Championships do you think she's had?
Probably 3.
So she's already had 3.
She's already had at least 2, maybe 3. Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
But this is, like I said, there are many people. Kamikawa, right? He won the open title, the big thing. There's Olympic champions who've never done it. But that's the one that pretty much has always been the standard, that open class championship for the men and for the women.
All right, we'll come back to that. We're going to do the awarding ceremony in the under 100 kilo category. Gazimov of Azerbaijan receives his bronze medal, as does Tagir Haybulaev of Russia. And how old is Asahina?
17. She's a freshman, a university freshman right now.
Silver medal goes to Jose Armenteros of Cuba. And the gold medal goes to Cho Kwon of Korea, who, despite the fact that he's standing on the top of the podium, is only just about as tall as Jose Armenteros. So my next question is, how many 15 and 16-year-olds have ever won the All Japan?
I'm not saying she's not capable.
No.
What I'm saying is
that's not about capable.
Right.
The
Actually, it
question
looks
is-
like she's 20.
Right.
She was born in October 1996. She's 20 years old.
How many times has she been in it? And is one thing. But my question then is, how many have won it at 17 or 18?
I couldn't tell you right now. I don't have the stats.
Okay, we should look that up, and then we will know whether she's missing out or not. And as you already said, it's Tokyo that we're looking at for her.
What I'm saying, my point is this. There are many who have gotten world and Olympic titles and not gotten that title. I'm not saying she's not capable. I'm just saying there's many who haven't accomplished that.
Thank you very much. Your picture with the ladies and gentlemen.
Chokwon, gold medalist in the under 100 kilo category. Gazimov and Haybulaev were the bronze medalists, the silver medalist. He's happy and smiling. Jose Armenteros of Cuba. Just to go back to Asahina, if she was 26 or 27, I'd say that her not winning the All Japans would be a big question mark.
You misconstrue what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. I'm saying until she wins that, she won't be considered a great heavyweight. I'm not saying that she has
Where?
in Japan.
Well, I'll tell you what, just to let you know, when you win the Olympic Games, that's when you become a great heavyweight. That's the mark of a great heavyweight. You could win the All Japan Championships 4, 5, 6 times, right? If you go to the Olympic Games and you don't make it there, something's missing. That's going to be the deciding factor of whether Asahina is ranked as a great heavyweight in her future, whether she wins the Olympic Games. And her father was in the stands, and he didn't say to me, hey, one day she's going to win the All Japan Championships. He said to me, one day she's going to win the Olympic Games.
And if you were to ask her father if she could have one title, the Olympic title or the All Japan title, which?
We shall ask him. We got the first of the bronze medal matches in the plus 100 kilo category. Andrei Volkov of Russia faces Kokauri Ushangi of Azerbaijan. Ushangi Kokauri, beg your pardon, of Azerbaijan. It's Volkov in the white judogi, Kokauri in blue. So what a fighter he was on. Made a move from Georgia. And it's not a big step, is it, from across the border? Georgia to Azerbaijan.
Doesn't seem like a very Georgian surname to me. There's no Vili there.
Yeah, well, I think there are about 6 endings. This is one of them, like Siklauri. Pitskulauri. That sort of ending is usually identified as Georgian. And the other thing is, what the real giveaway is the given name, Ushangi. We've got another, I think, someone else in the Georgian team at the moment, Ushangi Margiani. I think that more than the surname is a giveaway, but that's unbelievable. And the other thing was the Georgians were cheering for him up here. Struggle at the moment for this player. The referee's decided to penalise both of the fighters for passivity, and that will galvanise them into a greater degree of action than we've seen to this point. He's looking to go over on that right side, and Volkov's almost poised and waiting for him. Yeah, I think the contest judges are right there. The referee wanted to give both fighters a penalty because nothing's happened. But it's more from Volkov not producing anything rather than Kakaori looking to do something but not being able to get near his man. Thin line between I'd like to do something but can't, and Volkov, I don't care what happens, but nothing's going to happen.
He's just holding on for dear life.
Yeah. He just gives the impression that his thoughts are, if I try to open up here, I'm going to get caught. So rather than that, I'll just stop you from doing anything. Dmitry Morozov has just said to him, get on with it. Coach got angry there. His fighter's in action. He's trying to spur him on to do something. Oh.
That was his first look. He didn't make the initial action.
He's got to get the left leg free.
Oh.
Couldn't do it.
Didn't need to.
Yeah, and he waited. He picked up the 2 penalties. He waited for his turn. It came, and it's paid off on this occasion. The thing about that win is it's going to go down as just W, win. He won. It's not going to say anything about what it looked like.
How he did it.
Or how he did it. It's just going to say win.
Flopped on the ground and was able to reverse a possible Keisugatame.
And also that tactic of forcing Kakaori, despite the fact that he had the advantage, forcing him into trying something to avoid picking up a penalty, it paid off in the end. A little bit of a chat between the pair.
This is the second gold medal for Untitled Grand-Prix.
Oh well, you find a way to win, don't you? And Volkov did. There's some highlights from this contest.
You can see the highlights of this gold medal contest on the screen.
After the highlights, we'll have the second of the bronze medal matches. That'll feature Alex Garcia Mendoza of Cuba. He's up against Roy Meyer of the Netherlands. It'll be Garcia in the white judo group, Meyer in blue.
The next bronze medal contest for men over 100 kg. 남자 플러스 100kg 두 번째 동메달.
A first meeting then between this pair, Garcia and Meyer. Well, on the strength of what I've seen earlier today from both the fighters, I put my money on Meyer for this one.
Meyer's had a couple first meetings this competition. Where's he been hiding? Just the luck of the draw. Quick and confident stroll of Meyer as he rushes to the tatami almost.
Why not? He's already faced the big man today and given a reasonable account of himself, so I feel confident and say, okay, I lost once today. That's my only loss of it. This is my medal, and I'll take it.
Already gets a look at Uchimata.
You're going to have the pleasure of chatting with Masahiro Sara shortly, aren't you?
I am. Looking forward to it. Get a little insight on how she is preparing for Tokyo after, she's the only one with both Tokyo and Jeju on her schedule for Japan. Mendoza making an attack. He's the one with the single Shido on the board. Uchigari attempt there by Garcia Mendoza.
It's not a bad little look, is it? He stayed upright and hooked him for a little bit, gave it a little bit of a hop. Meyer was strong enough to fend him off.
He's testing the waters a little bit there, a little more than just a foot tap.
But for a big guy, it wasn't a bad little movement, was it? Here he comes again, so he can set him up with something else. Meyer, that low right-sided Seoinage, but he was sideways on.
There's a look at that.
That was unfortunate. He lost contact with the hand, and then as he fell away, there was nothing left of the Uchimata from Garcia I'm talking about. I wanted to see him try something apart from the Ojigari, and then when he did think about the Uchimata, it was over before it began.
I like to see him start with Ochi and then transfer into Uchimata.
Yeah, other way around, yeah. One way or the other. And put together some kind of combination. Catches. Something missing there. When he steps off that left foot, David, let's say he attacks him with the left Ojigari as Maya steps back. Here, now he needs to go on the right side. And he hasn't got anything on the right. Yes, it's hard. I mean, it is difficult. But that's where you can catch Maya.
Now you're talking my combination. Ojigari, Hizaguruma.
Yeah, that would be good. Ooh,
that was a really nice move right there. Big Kosoto. Kosoto Gake.
See, he moves it. The thing about it is Garcia actually gets Maya moving and he's going back, but then he hasn't got anything to follow it up with.
Meyer brings a big Ochi there.
Almost comes up with a score.
I'm going to give him a Yuko, but I'm going to take it back. Or was that a Mate? I saw an arm come out, but I didn't see the direction. Didn't go on the board, but definitely Meyer's best attack there. You can hear him grunting as he comes in. That's the first one in a while that went the limit.
Well, just the single Shido against Garcia. Unfortunate, really.
Yeah, he had some good attacks.
Mark can think himself reasonably fortunate there, because if you looked at the contest, from what I remember, it just simply says who did the most attacking.
Yes, but the best attack was still Myers. That Ochi was the best, the closest to scoring. But you're right, in terms of sheer number, and there were a number of good attacks by the Cuban.
So it must be that there was a period when he ceased to attack. That's when he got his Shido. Yep. Because after that, your boy was pretty much in it, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Garcia. Oh well. It's Roy Meyer who takes a second of the bronze medals in the plus 100 kilo category. And there's been a little bit of talk about him having given Teddy a good go. Well, he gave it a go. Because here is Teddy. It's Teddy Riner of France. Up against Kim Sung-min. It's the final of the plus 100 kilo category. Riner in the white judogi, Kim in blue. I missed the head-to-head. I missed seeing what the head-to-head between Riner and Kim Sung-min was. Never mind, I'll have a look.
Yeah, Kim's going to need the eye of the tiger here.
He must say to himself at some stage, I can do this. I can do it. 8 times. 8 times, isn't it?
And he already has the grip.
Last occasion. Qingdao. In the chair for Kim Sung-min and Frank Schrombly in the chair for Teddy Riner. 3 times Riner has taken a gold medal away from Kim. So we're going to make it 4 today. Almost came up with a counter as he stepped off that.
Well, he slipped loose of the foot, that's for sure. I don't know if there was a counter.
Yeah, he had a little. The final movement was his shoulders going forward. He fancied himself as having a chance to counter Rene there.
Bringing with a Sasai so he can.
Well, whatever may be said about how Rene has won some of his contests, there's absolutely zero argument with the execution of that result. And I'm not going to go into say, oh, he smashed him, banged him. That doesn't come into it.
It was so clean.
It was
Cleanly
absolutely super.
Cleanly executed Sasai. I love the rotation of the arms. I mean, there was real good Kazushi involved in that throw too.
Good judo technique.
Fantastic. At any weight class, anybody out there.
Absolutely flawless. You know,
as good a technique as we have seen the entire 3 days.
For some years, I've not been the biggest fan.
You're not the only one.
But there are just too many. There are just too many things going well and going right through it. And look at that. Kim Sung-min is supposedly one of the top heavyweights in world judo. To be put away in this fashion suggests that the person doing the putting away is so way above that class. Really?
Oh yeah.
You know, we've almost come to the point where we need a re-examination of Rene and that weight category. And I always think, what would happen if he wasn't around? Who would be the heavyweight? Who would we be waxing lyrical about? Who would we be talking about as a great heavyweight at the moment? If we hadn't seen Rene, if he wasn't in the equation.
This is one of these sports arguments, you know, during the Tiger Woods era of golf. How many championships other people would have gotten if Tiger Woods wasn't around? How many other championships? You know, I think it would have been spread pretty evenly. There was a lot of good people, you know, at, or just say the next tier, and there's an entirely different tier.
The bronze medals in the plus 78 kilo category were won by Irina Kinseska of Ukraine and Kim Min-jeong of Korea. Silver medal went to Belkis Kane of Turkey. The gold medal was won by Asahina Sawa of Japan. We haven't got long enough to go through the Rene thing, unfortunately. The real question that I've got is it possible that for the length of time that Rene has been, you know, at the top, that the world hasn't produced a top heavyweight. That's a really difficult one. Let's stand for the national anthem of Japan.
Just to return to your ideas about Renier, I want to use a bit of a boxing analogy, okay? This has not been an era, like for example the Tyson era where there was a bunch of bums and Tyson just basically dominated the heavyweight class, and then a miracle came along, Buster Douglas, who wasn't even a great fighter, but just happened to catch Tyson.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Right?
Yeah.
Nor is it an era like, for example, the Muhammad Ali era where you had Frazier and folks like that who actually beat Muhammad Ali and his greatness was coming back.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in between. These guys are good heavyweights. They fight good fights, but Renier is just a wall, a barrier, and you just cannot. I think one of the big things is mentally. No one believes. You were saying, does he believe when he walks to the tatami? He must have this thought that he can beat him. I don't think deep down they have that core belief they can.
Yeah, it's a wish, not a belief.
That's exactly what it is. It's
I
a
wish
wish.
I could beat him. Yeah.
I wish I could beat him. I hope I can do something.
I mean, there was one fighter earlier on who was smiling at his inability to get to terms. It was Freddie, wasn't it? Little Freddie Figueroa, or Cuevas, the Mexican as well. He was also, slightly amused at his own efforts at trying to get to grips with Renier. And another question that comes to mind then is, if it is that Renier is so much better than the heavyweights that are around at the moment, and we've got a mediocre group, but he is above that group, would he have been a great heavyweight in any era?
Well, this is always going to be, boxing is a classic for this. They want to compare eras of champions and things like that. I would say also, going back to this idea of mentally, do they think they have a chance? The interviews with Shichinoe after Astana, he was like, I thought I got better, but Renier got better as well.
Mm. So then we can use the boxing analogy again, because I think it's a good one in this instance. Let's say that they put Tyson in any era. Would he have been great in any era?
Based upon the opponents that he fought during his era, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he would have been as dominant as he was.
No,
but Tyson, just like Renier during that period, mentally owned that weight class. No one believed that they could beat the guy who came out with the black shorts and the black socks and the head down mentality, and the way he brutally destroyed his opponents, the way Renier absolutely crushes these guys when he wants to.
Right, we've got the awarding ceremony in the plus 100 kilo category. First of the bronze medals goes to Roy Meyer of the Netherlands.
And I would really like to have asked what Meyer's thoughts were going, because the first time he fought Teddy, and he had a very good match against him.
Andrei Volkov picked up the second of the bronze medals. Silver medal, again, Kim Sung-min of Korea. Gold medal goes to Teddy Renier of France. Yeah, I still have that question unanswered. Would Tyson have been a contender in any era? Because that's the question we're asking about Renier. Would Renier have been a contender in any era with any heavyweights around?
I gotta believe that. I don't think Tyson physically was that dominant the way Rainier is. And then Rainier,
But again,
I really wish
it's not about dominance. It's the second time we've been here, and
Right.
it's the second time you said the same thing. It's not about whether he could have dominated.
Right.
Is would Tyson in another era have been a contender?
A contender, yes, but
Right,
dominant,
so-
no.
And now the national anthem of France. Well, another one in the trophy cabinet for Teddy Riner. And seeing as it's Teddy that we end on, and that's who we're talking about, let's finish off with that. I'm genuinely asking if he would have dominated. Let's leave the word dominated out. Would he have been a contender, Teddy, in any era?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Got to. The guy's just got so much about him. It doesn't matter what era, who you put him against, he would have been a contender. He would have been there or thereabouts. You could go on to ask whether he would have been a winner. Never asked that. That's a different question. But he would have been a contender in any era. Unfortunately, it just doesn't appear that there are people who can leap into this era. Into this area. He seems to inhabit a space all on his own at the moment. No one gets in, anywhere near him.
The only heavyweight that I could think of in judo history that would be a really interesting matchup would be G-Sync.
Right, but I mean, let's come back.
I'm just saying, if you want to talk about someone who was dominant in his period, not for as long, but someone who a Rainier G-Sync would be and I think that would be more interesting than a Rainier, say, Yamashita battle. A Rainier G-Sync battle would be incredible.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. I don't even think what do they call them when they invent? No.
Hypotheticals.
They have them in Star Wars, computer generated. It's images, CGI or something. The only way we're going to get that is if someone makes this program. What's it called? Hologram. Yeah. See, this is why we need your gun on camera as well. We need a hologram, and you can match them up. You could feed in all the information, size, strength, speed, weight, everything, take out for the differences in film types and everything, and you put them in there and say, right, go for it.
Believe me, they got a video game that you can do that, I'm sure.
A video game, yeah. But somebody else operates it, don't we? So it's a moot point. Bar talk. It's bar talk. We'll have more bar talk when we bring you our next live transmission. Will be from David's backyard when we go over to Tokyo. 3 days of judo beginning next Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week. We'll be in Tokyo for the Grand Slam. We look forward to your company then. But from Jorg, Simon, David and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
Take care, folks. Kamsahamnida.